Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Let's talk about how to read the room, especially when we want to grow and supersize our business. It's important that we as leaders, managers, founders, creators of our own destiny and business and careers have the ability, the emotional intelligence, the empathy, the organizational awareness to read a room. Read a room, this is a relatively new idiom and expression. It became popular in 1974 in the book of Israeli, I think, Drapkin and Emilio Viano, Exploiters and Exploited, the Dynamics of Victimization. But it didn't really take off or become super popular until the 1990s when, of course, management and leadership gurus and coaches and consultants started teaching it as a skill and a strategy that people could use to be more successful in business, which is one of those things that we all want to learn about, right? So I don't think I've ever taken a course on how to read the room. Wish I had one. I kind of wish there was one, because it would make those of us that are somewhat socially awkward in different situations a lot more comfortable. I do remember talking to a woman once that said she did teach her clients this, and she had a very interesting and unique way of reading a room. And I remember learning it and doing and trying some of her techniques and strategies, and it made me more comfortable with reading a room, but I can't remember what I did with that information or that note, or even who I learned it from. So I will talk to you about a strategy that experts online, of course, say to use to read the room, and then I'll tell you what I actually do when I am getting a feel for, because to read the room to me means getting a feel for the circumstances and the surroundings that you find yourself in. So whether you're walking into a staff meeting or walking into a negotiation or walking into a party or walking into a conference, you can quickly and easily size up and sum up the situation, what's going on, what people are thinking and feeling, what the vibrations or the mood of the room is, and then the pockets of people in that room to figure out what you want to do to get your objectives met for being in that place, that situation, that circumstance in the first place. So I say the first thing we need to know is, why are we going into the room? What is our purpose and intention? What do we want to get out of going into and being part of this room? Whether it's a networking event, and again I said negotiation, or just a conference that you're attending to get more information about a specific topic. You need to know, what do you want? What do you want to get out of this? What do you want your outcome to be? And maybe it's just to meet more people. Maybe it's to get some more connections. Maybe it's to connect with people and learn more about the topic. Whatever it is, you have to know what you want going in. That's the number one thing. Then what I do, and they recommend that you observe the room, observe the people and the situations in the room. How you do that is unique to each and every one of us. I like to scan the room backwards. So when I enter a room, I usually take a deep breath, think about what I'm going there for, what my desired outcome is, and then I enter the room. I look around, I scan it, and I see, and I look at, especially focusing on people, what are the people doing? What are the people saying? How are they standing? Or do they look stoic, or do they look very serious? Are they in serious conversations? Are they laughing? Is there humor? Are there pockets of people that I see, that I know, that I want to make sure I engage with while I'm in the room, etc. So I want to just make a quick observation of the room and get a feel for, by paying close attention to people, what is the mood? What's going on in the room? Then I want to, and the next step they say is to control how much you talk. Now, so for some of us, that's really hard. We need to remember to be quiet, listen twice as much as we talk, because we've got two ears and one mouth for a reason, and adapt my behavior to the situation and the mood and the environment. So there's some rooms that I go into and I don't say hardly anything. I greet people, I smile at them, and I listen intently, because I know that that is my purpose, and that what I want to get from that particular situation and experience is information. Well, if I'm talking, I'm not getting information. I want to be listening more. So control how much you talk based on your intent or purpose for being in the room. Some rooms I go into, if I'm in a negotiation, I'm not quiet. I'm not sitting back and just listening. I'm usually driving that negotiation, because I know 100% what I want before I walk in that door, and I'm not just going to sit back and wait for people to tell me what is going to happen. I'm going to say, this is what I want to have happen, or this is what I expect to happen. So it depends on actually the physical room that you're in. Number 3, we want to contextualize our observations. We want to get a feel for it and try to draw some conclusions based on what we see in the room, what we're experiencing in the room. And finally, we want to realize that we are empowered to guide the room. We can go in and we can become a passive participant, or we can become a leader of that room, no matter what the room is, based on how we interact with other people, what we choose to do and say, and how we choose to participate in that particular event or scenario. So I've had lots of experience, not only reading the rooms, but being in rooms that some I remember entering and I was like so out of my comfort zone and so intimidated by the people that were in that room. And if I enter a room and I'm feeling intimidated because there's a lot of powerful people in it, then I am putting myself in a position of less power and less influence, and that's probably not going to serve me depending on what my intent is. If my intent is to go into a room of influential, powerful people and just get to know them and see how I can serve them and help them, then I can meet my intent. I can always meet my intent of being in the room by reading and understanding what I'm getting into. And it doesn't take long. You can read a room almost instantly. The more you do it, the better you get at it. The more you practice anything, the better you get at it. So nowadays, COVID-19, we haven't been walking into many rooms, but even virtual rooms, Zoom rooms, you can get a feel for what's going on, how people are feeling, what they're doing by clicking through the different screens in the Zoom room and see if people, do they have their cameras on? Are they participating? Are they engaged? Are they just passively listening? Are they behind the screens with just their camera turned off? So they're probably multitasking and doing 8 billion other things, or maybe they ran to the bathroom or they're getting a snack, whatever. But all that information gives you an idea of what's going on in the room, what the dynamics are, and how you can best get your objectives met by taking a feel of your environment. We always need to consider the environment in which we're acting, the environment which we're a player, so that we can make sure that we get our outcomes met, but other people get their outcomes met as well. Love to know what you think of this idiom, this expression, to read the room, what your strategy is, what your tactic is. Do you have, and are you a great person at reading the room? Do you have a feel for the room before you ever enter? Do you know what to expect? Do you feel comfortable in almost any room? I guess the older we get, the more comfortable we feel in almost any room. But that's just the more experienced we are, the more comfortable we feel in different situations and different scenarios. Share in the comments below. If there's an idiom you would like to know the meaning of, hit me up in the comments below. We're nearing the end of the month, so I'll be switching off of the book and reading emphasis into something else, and I'd be fibbing if I said I knew what the next thing was going to be, but I guarantee I'll come up with it in the next couple of days, so I'd love your advice on that. Have an awesome day, and I'll of course be with you tomorrow. Bye.